What is up, peeps? Coach Kev here again on a very cold, excuse me, ooh, a very cold Thursday night here in Pennsylvania. We still have snow everywhere from last weekend, where we ended up, excuse me, a little bit of my medicine there before I came on. Uh, we got here in McKeesport about a foot. When it was all said and done, we're just south of Pittsburgh, or sorry, east of Pittsburgh. Uh, so that's what we got. This is about what we were supposed to get. I expect upwards of 18 inches, but it's been so cold that the snow is all kind of all over the roads. People clean their car off, and then there's like a pile there, and it's not going anywhere. So we have the chairs out. I don't know if you guys do that where you are. Where you have like your place. You dig it out, and you put a chair there. No one's supposed to move it. To the point where the mayor of Pittsburgh asked that all the citizens respect the chair law, in quotations. So wherever you are, unless you are in like Key West or something like that, you're probably enduring some cold too. So hopefully everybody's being smart. If you have generators running or need generators, they're a great thing. Make sure that they're properly vented if they're in your house. You want a hard sleeve pipe if possible, going through a wall, or if you have it outside, make sure that it's, excuse me, goodness gracious, pointing away from the house and far enough away where it's the fumes are not going to get sucked back in. So just be careful with that. People do crazy things to heat their homes. If you're available, if you have the ability to do it, you could kick your furnace down a couple notches and maybe in the room, excuse me, goodness gracious, the room that you're currently using, that could help also. Dress warmer, stuff like that, stuff that you don't need cold necessarily. And if you do lose power, try to limit yourselves to one room, stay in there as best you can. If you have other means of cooking, like a grill or something, it might be cold out there, but think about that. But where we live in the city, when power goes out, they usually get it on pretty quick because so many people were affected in a square mile radius. We're in more rural parts of the country, and even where my wife grew up in Punxsutawney, we had a really bad snowstorm in '93 here. The blizzard of '93. It's the one that everyone talks about, and that's my age or was around at those years and can remember it. Where we got like, I don't know, we got like 2 feet in like 2 days, and it just shut the city down, shut everything down for a week. There was nothing anyone can do. And back then, a lot less people had 4-wheel drive vehicles. So with snow, as long as you, the snow is, the snow isn't higher than your clearance of your car, you usually can make it. Careful on hills and things like that, even untreated roads. The ice is what you worry about. We were clear of the ice this time. So hopefully everyone's safe and everyone has power and everything like that. We'll say hi to everyone here in a minute as we continue through. Or hellos. I'm not sick, folks. That's the weed. Excuse me. But what else been going on? Super Bowl matchup is set. I'm a huge NFL fan. The Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. Interesting Super Bowl. No one, I don't think, had this picked at the beginning of the season. You have the Drake May, the young guy, in his second year there. I told Ruckus a while back when they drafted him, I thought that was you've got your guy because, he was a Patriots fan because he grew up there, and proven to be true thus far. And it looks like he's the guy. It should be a great game, a very interesting game. So look forward to that. And there's no football this weekend. That's next weekend. Those of you that were in my Discord, I haven't been in it in months. I disabled it today and took it down. There was no reason that I did that, but I'm just not in Discord anymore. So when I would go in there, I'd see messages and I'd feel bad. Like, man, people were trying to get a hold of me. So the best way, Kevlar148gmail.com, Kevlar148hotmail.com, or you could comment at some point in a chat somewhere or on a post that I have on my community page, whatever you have. If you have any information about anything that you want to talk about or stuff that you think is interesting, let's see. That's about all I had. Let's say we had some school board training recently this past weekend, me and a couple other of the members. So here in Pennsylvania, when you're first elected to a school board, or if you are elected for that cycle, so our terms are 4 years. So me and another lady went down And another guy came down. He missed the first couple hours. They had to come for a few hours later, but he's been on the school board for almost 30 years. So it passed in 2017, Act 55, it's called here in Pennsylvania. And it's good. It keeps you current with updates on new laws. The school does a good job of that too, but and you network. So there was a bunch of people from school districts around us, and there's a couple exercises where you have to get up and leave your table and talk to people from other boards and things like that. So always interesting. It's always good to do that. I've done that with the fire department, with the union stuff in the past too. And you learn so much. Hey, what did they do to you there? Hey, what happened? How did you guys respond to it? So tonight, mothers and their sons. The reason I came to you, the psychological end of things. So in the research that I've done, and just tip of the iceberg psychological stuff, when we look at certain serial killers, you can almost immediately say to yourself, he had a poor relationship with his mother. Whatever that means, it can mean many different things. So it's not just one or two things that can happen. There's many, many different things that can happen. And we're going to talk about those things tonight and how it's kind of amazing to me. Excuse me, I got to blow my nose now. How so many of these series or serial killers that we have so many of the same traits and so many of the same stories. Now, obviously, some of these folks blame everything but themselves. So some of it's, is it heaped on the moms, but we go back and look and it's not in a lot of cases. So let's say hi to everyone. I have some really cool slides to show you and things like that. So be here around an hour, but it should be pretty information packed. And when you start hearing things, let's say the new killers come out, hey, this guy got arrested, or details of crimes get out, which the police actually do a pretty good job of that now, of keeping that under wraps. And there's a reason for that. There's only things that the killer would know. And you have to keep those things, under wraps. So when someone does come in and they wanted to talk about it, who you're dealing with the right people. If someone communicates with the police, you're dealing with the right people. And yeah, there are kooks that will go in there and say that they did these horrible things for attention. Sounds crazy because most of us are normal people and we don't think that way. But there's people that do. So let's say hi to everybody and what's going on tonight. Hopefully it's not as cold where I am as where you are. What's up, Mustang? It is, I looked before I came in, it's 13 degrees here right now. Our wind chills have been low, as low as 23 or 24 below. So schools have been canceled all week because of that. It's been steady. So the times when kids get on the bus in the morning is really bad. And it's really not getting any better. And there's a snowstorm. There's another snowstorm coming. Fingers crossed. It looks like it's going to kind of miss us and hit more toward the East Coast. So you might have a significant snowstorm where, say, Philadelphia gets hit, but Pittsburgh doesn't. Max Velocity is a guy. What is up, Joe? Good to see you. Max Velocity is a guy that I follow on YouTube and a couple other of us follow. And I think I was in Discord. I discovered that because no one had talked about it to me. I just randomly found this guy. He's like a college student. When I first started covering him, he was just graduating, but he was like good. He was like a weather nerd, which I like, and he was really into it, but he had a way to explain it, where he's a super intelligent guy, definitely smarter than me, and probably smarter than 99.9% of his viewers, but he doesn't talk down to you, and he has a way to explain things, and he brings in radar to neighborhoods. I remember my town, McKeesport was on there a couple years ago in the summer when there was a bad storm. So Max Velocity, check him out. Gibbo just celebrated a birthday recently. Good to see you, brother. Hope everything's going good. Miranda, you guys are so great. I haven't done hardly anything. I owe you so much, but there's good news. And it's probably early next week, Monday, I'm going to start doing different things. I'm going to make a couple of videos that won't be live, and they'll be members only. I don't know if I'll eventually make them for the public, but we'll do members only stuff again. We'll try to do at least one a month where we sit there and we talk. And I know that some people don't like to talk in bigger chats. My chats are never huge, but some people, would rather have that. So check out Frank Gibbo, but I appreciate it. So look for that. What is up, David? Good to see you. Yeah, I was trying to be a more regular schedule. Give you guys at least one a week. it's nice to see people that you haven't seen here. As you know, Gibbo saying David too. It's been a long time. I know people go into different things. Some people stay, and their interests are, hey, we're still interested in these cases and those cases. And believe me, when I see that stuff that comes up, Delphi related, Florida is different. Florida is always an unsolved case, regardless of what you think happened in Delphi. They haven't even arrested anyone there. So anything that ever comes up with that, I always look. And it's hard to just keep. What else can we do? What else can we do? So I get beat down. What else can we do? And then I come back and I try to figure something else out, another way to attack it, another way to go at things to get awareness out there. And it's tough. You can imagine what it's like for Galen and the family, but even people that have covered that case, that have been there, that have went to the house. I went to the house; it was gone, but I went to the place. You're Kathy, Clendenning, people like that are just, this is in their hearts. It's so hard, and you hear all these other cases being solved, different things. Delphi was close by, but just different. 30 years, this happened, this and that. And I just feared that we're not going to get that because the house was so poorly taken care of and it was so poorly guarded afterwards for evidence. And, when Doug Carter said the days immediately after that weren't our best days, and it was, I'm surmising the quote, man, there was mistakes made. And you know what? Were those people ever held accountable? They resigned from positions. Maybe they were told, hey, you got to resign. But they should have been held accountable, criminally negligent for it. There's the Good Samaritan law, but there's certain things that you have to do. There's no rush at that point, right? To board up a house. When you make a mistake in the heat of the moment, it happens. It's terrible. And listen, nobody has to tell that responder. He knows, she knows. For the rest of their lives, they're going to carry that with them. 9 out of 10 responders are going to carry that with them. 1 out of 10 are probably sociopathic. It doesn't bother them. It intrigues them, but they'll act like it bothers them because they learn to mimic emotions of regular people. But that's after the fact. Slow this thing down to a fucking crawl, right? We're not putting girls in body bags. We're not stop, back the neighbors up. And you know what? You don't even have to be tough. Hey, everyone get the fuck out of the street. You don't have to do that. But guys, listen, this was a terrible tragedy. Those little girls have perished. We just need to back things up because we don't want, dignity of the victims. And when you tell people that, in my experience, and it wasn't, one experience was similar, but nothing to that effect of youth lost at one scene. But even if it's an older person, or I remember it was a couple one time and people were very upset. They kind of wanted to know what was going on because it was their neighbors. When you told them that and says, hey, listen, for the dignity of the victims, you're just asking everybody, you don't have to leave, but can you go on your porch, or just, we're going to be moving something, we're obviously going to be moving the bodies out. And they didn't want to see it, and they were glad, oh my God, it's terrible, but they had information. They could go back in their house and kind of grieve and process it their own way. But there's no guessing. I wonder, are they alive? What happened? Hey, looks, you can't tell them anything with the cause, right? Because you really don't know. But a lot of times, hey, did anything look crazy? I can't tell you what the cause was, but we didn't see anything that looked, out of the ordinary. But, you let people know, hey, that unfortunately your neighbors have passed. But usually you can do something like that. But anyways, let's get into tonight. Mothers and their sons, Norman Bates, Ed Gein. Recently in popular culture, it's come up, and it's been something that's I'm going to take you back to where this started with me. Watching The Sopranos, huge Soprano fan. I'll probably quote them 2 or 3 times in every live that I do, whether you catch them or not. It depends on how much you like The Sopranos, whatever happened there. But during the scenes with Tony and the psychologist, Dr. Melfi, there's some of the best scenes on TV. Tony's into Dr. Melfi. You think Dr. Melfi's into Tony, you're not sure. I don't want to spoil The Sopranos for you if you've ever seen it, but it's a fantastic show. To me, it was what brought TV back, as it used to be the movies. I said this to my wife. I can't even tell you a single movie playing right now. And then TV started kicking the ass in the movies. And since then, TV's been better than the movies. There's better shit to watch on TV than the reason to go to the theater, whatever you're into. But professionals came out, and therapist, psychologist said that interaction was correct. That's how it works. Everything she was telling him was true. So he's like, everything's about the mother. Everything gets back to the mother. And she doesn't necessarily say yes, but she implies, yeah. And anytime you hear this stuff, And here's who you hear it from. When I say you hear this stuff, you hear it from John Douglas, Robert Ressler. You hear it from all the people that started the BAU to turning to the BSU to the BAU. The behavioral sciences stuff, everything that was done at the FBI, all that work, all the psychologists, everything that goes back to everything. When it's a boy, it goes back to the mother. So what's began to happen was these profiles were able to look at a crime scene and be able to tell. A lot of times we're going to say that this kid's relation, when he was a kid, his relationship with his mother was something that was crazy. And here's why we think that. And there's a couple charts. There's a big chart I'm going to show you here. After I show you some slides, I'm going to play a background like I like to do and just talk. But I'll share this chart, and it shows childhood trauma, and it draws lines to where they can end up and where they go. And it's just so interesting. And then the case studies that we'll talk about: Gary Ridgway, the Green River Killer, and Ed Kemper a lot because of Ed Kemper's finality with his mother. And if you know the Ed Kemper case, you probably know what I'm hitting at. But it's really crazy. So let me show you this first. I'm glad to see everybody here. I'll pop back into the chat in a minute. Let me show you here what I want to show you. So we're going to pop in and let's see how that looks on StreamYard if we're able to see that. Hopefully we can see. I'm going to read it to you too. Not the best background combination here, huh? Maybe with this grading. But anyways, if you can't read it, just listen. I'll read it to you. Some boys grow up, others never escape the mothers who raise them. Behind many serial killers is a mother who shaped them, sometimes through control, sometimes through neglect, sometimes through a mixture of need and resentment that near resolves. So there's different paths left. I don't know what in the hell happened here. If anyone can hear me, uh, oh, I have no idea what's going on with this here StreamYard. Left. I don't know what in the hell happened here. If any, there's my phone. Yeah, I have no idea. So I can get this here. This I don't. But see, this isn't even right. So I apologize for whatever is going on here with my StreamYard. I have no idea. I haven't ran into this problem before. This is supposed to be the whole picture thing too. It doesn't have my stuff up there, but I don't have any idea. So I apologize. I will get back on this and maybe try to do one Saturday night. I think I might be able to do one Saturday night. Tomorrow's bad, but I apologize. I have so much good stuff too. So if you watch this later, look forward to it, but I'm sorry. I'm not the tech guy. I've never had this happen before, but as you can see, even right now, like this isn't right. This is supposed to be the whole screen, but it's not. So I'm sorry for wasting your time tonight, but I look forward to. I have a lot of really cool stuff here. I'm not going to share anything out yet. I was going to share stuff after my broadcast, but maybe Saturday night. Look for this again. I'll redo that thumbnail. So sorry, everyone. Hey, see through. Yeah, but even my I can't present or share like I want to. And if you look at the screen right now, it's like I'm sharing something, but I'm not. And this is supposed to be my solo layout, which is supposed to be the whole big thing. So something's wrong with my StreamYard or StreamYard in general. I'm not sure what. But look for me Saturday night. I'll probably put some up Saturday morning, I think, if I'm able to do it. And I'll cover this again, but I don't know what's happening here. And I can't really do live on YouTube and then share what I want to share on that also, because I really have some cool stuff. Yeah. Actually, it kicked me out, see, through all the way of a thing. Like the StreamYard was gone. As I was reading that article, I seen something flash up and I'm like, what the hell? So then I went back in. I'm surprised it let me get back in the studio. Usually it doesn't let you get back in the studio. But now it's not working right. So I can't show you anything, and I just have a real little box. And you just don't want to hear me talk out of a little box, because the slides I had are really cool for tonight. So I am sorry. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to try to figure this out. Look for it for Saturday. Sorry for wasting your time, everyone. I apologize, but I'll get this done, and this will be a good show. So stay warm wherever you are. Stay safe.